So then, last time I went over some of the more obscure and interesting games that I had in my collection. In that video, I planned to do a section where I talked about obscure controllers as well as give a demonstration. However, just talking about the games ended up taking a lot longer than I anticipated. So, I am making a part 2 where I do just that. And like before, I'm going to go in reverse, chronological order. It's taken me years to accept it, but GoldenEye on the Wii is not what I was looking for. And odds are, what I am looking for probably will never happen. The closest thing that happened was that leaked Xbox Live build. And plus there was that GoldenEye 25 or Project 25, I'm trying to remember what it was called. It was an HD remaster from the ground up, but unfortunately they received a cease and desist. However, I gotta give a lot of respect that this developer had to scrap this idea, but came up with a brand new one. Spies Don't Die 64. And from what little I've seen, it looks fantastic. But anyway, you may be wondering why I bring this up. Well, it's bittersweet, but at the same time, it's hard for me to hate a game where you can have a lot of interesting controllers. So I figure I'll just kind of go over all the gun controllers I have, as well as just kind of show how they would be loaded into the system. So this one's relatively easy. Just kind of slide it in there. Wristband just kind of slides wherever. The nunchuck, which I still have tied up for some reason, just simply plugs into here. And then the wires feed all the way until you get to a point where you can plug it into here. And then from there you got these little buttons on the side that help take care of the nunchuck controls. You got the trigger here, which hits the B button on the bottom. However, you do have to reach around to take care of the rest of the controls. You got Link's crossbow training. Very similar concept, just kind of slide it in there. This band, I think you just kind of hover around anywhere, and that just kind of helps for support. You just kind of place the nunchuck here, where the little hole there goes into this little post. This little area holds the cord in place. It's not an exact science. This opens. You kind of wrap it around. Actually, I think you gotta plug it in first. Then the cord just kind of, fits in this little groove up here. And then it wraps around this way. Not one I've used myself, but, well, that seems to be the way that this game is intended to be played. Probably my personal favorite, because I love the idea that somehow it's break action for absolutely no reason. Let's see, so we just kind of take that back. Controller goes in here. It's a pretty tight fit, but it does go in there. There we go. There's a little gap for the wristband, as well as the nunchuck. So the nunchuck, like before, wire feeds through the bottom, sits in this little cradle here, and you got access to your little buttons here on the bottom. You got an area to wind around in, and I know that there's probably a little latch there, but no such luck. Gotta lift that back. It comes up through the bottom here. Plugs in. And then you're ready to go. We move on to arguably the most famous. I believe this was a game by Activision, which was like Big Buck Hunt or something. This one, I remember, also came with a scope, but mine did not have one. So, Got the controller, goes in here as usual. And you got the pump grip for the B button. Nunchuck goes in the stock. You got your two buttons right here and there. The wire feeds around, goes into the cartridge casing. Let's see, and then the cord just kind of feeds in through the bottom here, and then as per usual, plugs in. It is kind of nice that there's like a wire management tool with a lot of these, but usually it doesn't make for a very quick plug-and-play experience. And then on to the most simple, really. Just got simple pistols. This one only really has... Oh, this one is interesting. There's a plug in there for the nunchuck, so you just simply slide this in. Probably without the wristband, now that I'm thinking about it. The trigger hits the B button. And then on the bottom is where the nunchuck plugs in. And then you're good to go. And then we have one very similar as well. Trying to remember, I believe you kind of... There we go. Ease back on the hammer. Put it in like that. And the nunchuck, I believe you just have to plug it in. And then it feeds around. I do find it interesting that there's two triggers on this. One for like the side and another for the B button. I'm not really sure what this one is for. And like before, that leads us right back into the NES, which I probably have the most amount of stuff for out of any system. We'll go with the famous NES Advantage, which this is a very interesting controller, as this is just one of those moments I'll always remember. The retro game store I used to go to all the time was just kind of cleaning up in the back room, and as these weren't selling, he's like, hey, you know, I'll give you two of them for like $5 each. They were so heavy that as he placed them on the table, he was worried that it was going to scratch up / destroy the glass case. There is a lot of weight to this, and that's really to make it so as you're moving the joystick around as well as playing around with the buttons, it doesn't start going anywhere. And in fact, that's why you got the feet at the bottom as well. I think optimally you're supposed to have it kind of on a table, because I mean there are some people that may like cross their legs and play it on top like this, but I find that doesn't work. And here is a fun trick for you. You'll notice that the NES Advantage has two plugs. I'm not really sure why. I guess it just requires more power. But if you hook it up to one of these babies, the NES 4-score, basically notice with the wires that one has a white stripe and the other is solid. Basically, you want to connect either both of the solids or both of the stripes next to each other in sequence, and then you can play two with the NES Advantage, which I find that is the best way to play Jackal by Konami. However, that joystick is just a little too intimidating. We got this joystick, the Quick Shot as it's called. Oh, I forgot to mention. So there's also turbo buttons on here. Now this is the interesting thing, so you kind of have it off and on. And as it's on, you can actually adjust the speed with these almost volume controls. This one has a turbo button as well. However, it's not as robust. It's either on or off. And optimally, you kind of put this on a table. The suction cups should be able to have it stick in place. And then you just kind of go from there. One trigger acts as A, one is B, and then that acts as all the other arrow directions, which start and select on the front. This next one, I need an NES controller for. And, well, this was a gift, so to speak. Like I said in the last episode, sometimes I'm the kind of person people give to and they know something needs a good home. And this is one of them. Whoever last had this NES, you can see, was obviously a smoker, because the gray color is more of like a brownish tar color. Now the main reason I went with this controller is so I could show you this odd doohickey. I actually picked up both of these from the R.O.B that I teased in the last episode. In fact, the vendor I bought it from claimed that these controllers went to the R.O.B. But what it actually does is first you take out the little brace in the back, put the controller in like this, slip the brace down, and then you have a bit more of like a joystick for your D-pad. It's a very interesting thing, and then you can reach the buttons as is. Now I figure let's just kind of stick with the guns for now. The NES Zapper. As a few of you may know, I modified this one at one point to become a light rifle rather than a pistol. However, I lost the attachments to be able to do so, so now I'm just back to being a pistol again. Now, this is the interesting thing. This is what the original Zapper looked like. However, parental groups thought this looked a little too much like a real gun, so they made it orange. This is probably the one that more people are familiar with, myself included. I had no idea there was a gray one until several years later. And then we have this thing, the game handler. I am convinced this thing runs on magic. I picked it up for $5 at a consignment shop. So, this is honestly not a bad way to do it. Say, if you only had, like, your right hand, it fits perfectly. So you got your different buttons all along the way, all within reaching distance. And you can even switch the A and the B. So, either this is the A and this is... Wait, I believe this is the start button and this is the A button. Or is it this one? It's been a while since I last used this thing. But what... Oh yeah, and then you got the turbo selection on the side. So off, medium, on. But the main reason I say this thing runs on magic is... Notice that there are no arrow buttons. The way this is controlled is gyroscopic, I guess, because somehow you just kind of move it around and it's able to pick up that movement. And in fact, I remember seeing the instructional video for this thing. If you turn it upside down, you can actually play Super Mario Bros. Backwards.
If you've already beaten Super Mario Bros. 1 by Nintendo, simply hold your controller down and see if you can beat the game running backwards. If Mario gets stuck on you, keep pushing your A button and give him a jump start. The game is a lot harder this way, trust me.
Probably one of the more infamous NES attachments, the Power Glove. In all honesty, I feel like this thing gets a bit of a bad rap. Usually whenever I see people reviewing it, they're just kind of like, it's not doing anything, when in reality it should be more like, it's got to be smooth. Because if you go for the jerky movements, it doesn't really pick up on the sensors so well. So, along the way, there is this little keypad. That gives the instructions as to how the glove needs to be manipulated in order to play the game. Actually, I have the instructions for it. And it's kind of fun. I like the idea that there's a bit of like a cartoonish element. It kind of shows that they knew the audience that this was intended for. It was for kids that wanted to figure out how to be able to experience their games in a new and interesting way. And on top of that, I just love this illustration style. I'm not really sure how to be able to describe it. It's almost like a mix between the comics you would see in Nintendo Power, as well as something you would probably see in the Sunday paper. Now, this is the section that I have open to. In fact, I've gone to here so many times that there's like a permanent crease. And this one shows you how to be able to use the codes to be able to manipulate the glove in the right way. Each of them have different programs. Usually I just stick with the one that is meant for Super Mario. I keep wanting to say Super Mario 64, but that's not right. And yeah, when I picked it up, I got the antenna for the TV, is the instruction manual, and the glove. Because I had so much store credit at the place, it's hard to say how much I got this for. And here's a fun trick for you if somehow you have a Duck Hunt, the Power Glove, and a Zapper. So the interesting thing is the way the Power Glove works is that you have this center button here. That basically tells you where the center is, so anywhere you manipulate, you got up, down, left, and right. So if you were to say, center the glove like this, basically, you could use the force to manipulate where the ducks are going. So you go to the left, to the right, up, and down. Like I say, I feel like the Power Glove gets a bit of a bad rep. Probably because of AVGN. And on top of that, how many people even have this thing? And also, to my knowledge, there was never a left-handed version. There's only right-handed, which is kind of annoying. Of course, I know, like, left-handed people aren't that big of a population, but come on. There may be a few lefties out there that want to use the Power Glove. The U-Force. In case you're wondering why the box is so heavy, I've got two of them in here. So, I'm going to open this up real quick. And I've actually got two instruction manuals. There's one that kind of goes for more like a comic book style, as well as a general sheet of which codes you need to use to activate it. Actually, wait. This is the codes chart. We got power bar. You got a T, so to speak. This is one of the devices. This is very hard to try to capture all on camera, as you can see. And I love the idea that they actually label them. So, R goes to the R, and L goes to the L. Which I feel like that's millennial to Gen X, no wait, Gen Z speak for lose to lose. And really all it is just little sensors that go up and down. As you can see, it's been a little while. So, what is this thing? It is called the U-Force. I wonder, is this the one that has the other manual? Yeah. This is the manual I usually go for because it's a lot more straight and to the point. So it's a rather fascinating thing. So you see you got like all these little circles here. Each of them are sensors. So basically as you put your hand or other devices on here, basically all this is it reflects these two. You also got a sensor up here and a sensor over here. You got the start and select button. And depending on how you manipulate the switches is what each little pattern is. So, you got the bar in there. You kind of tilt this back a little bit. It clicks in place. And then you can play Mike Tyson's Punch-Out with it. And let's see, I got the joystick here. So you just kind of put this in the center. And as it moves around, it can kind of sense it from one of these sources. And then doing this is like the equivalent of doing this or this. And it's really fun if you got like some air combat games or even driving games. This actually works pretty decent for Rad Racer. Now when you want to play a platformer, you want to lay it flat. And then you kind of manipulate it along the way like that. And in case you're wondering why I have two of them in here, well, this was a bit of an odd deal. So the first U-Force I bought had the U-Force, the direct manual, and the joysticks. It did not have the power bar. I had to buy the power bar separately with the one that came in the box, as well as the heroic instruction manual. And yeah, it wasn't too bad of a deal. It was about the time when the retro gaming craze started to come around, so it started to get a little expensive, but still pretty reasonable. I don't know how much most of the stuff would go for today. And last, but certainly not least, Rob the Robot. Let me see if I can do this right. I believe you connect them like this. There are a little spinner you can put right here for the gyros. When I bought it, I didn't have the gyros, but a friend of mine knew somebody that had a 3D printer, and he was able to make them for me. And, yeah, before anybody says the old joke, it's like, yes, these are gyros, not euros, the Greek taco. And, yeah, basically, you need a CRT TV. There's like two little sensors within R.O.B's eyes that tell you how to move around the robot. So basically, you got up, down, move around, as well as open and close the claws. Well, I never really quite fixed this thing up properly, so generally how I do it is I just kind of keep the claws shut and then manipulate the gyro around that way. Okay. Well, let's try to hook up a little bit of a setup, and I'll show you how some of these more obscure accessories work. It's like I'm using some dark arcade magic whenever I use this thing. Okay, well, hopefully you can see it on the TV alright. Let's do this. See if I can just remember the controls. Up. No, this is up. This one. There we go. Not really sure how much commentary I'm going to be giving on this one. Whoa! Come on, gotta get that turtle shell. Oh, I almost had it. Okay, that was close. Nope. Okay, how did I... There we go. Oh. Let me try that a little more. Yeah, it's pretty amazing how well this thing responds, isn't it? Kind of a pity that such a thing didn't really catch on so much. I mean, I guess it did in the following years with like the Kinect and whatnot. But, I don't know, there's something very different about the feel of this. Okay, let's see if I can fly. Yes! Okay. Well, I missed the one up. Nope! It's this precarious situation. Oh! Hope that's coming across on the TV, alright? Yeah! Alright, I might actually beat this level. Well, I should have figured as much. Get the star! Ah, I got the mushroom. Well, there we go. Level 1 on the U-Force. I think I might have showed off this controller before, but I want to try to show it off again. Let's see. Right about there. Hopefully I'm not going to look too embarrassing. I find I have a way of, like, moving my tongue around whenever I'm trying to do things very carefully. It's this left and right thing that keeps throwing me off. Yes. But yeah, I have no idea how this thing works. I mean, notice there's like no arrow buttons, but yet somehow I'm able to manipulate this thing. I've heard some say it's probably like gyroscopic or something, but, well, for me, that's a $5 word that sounds impressive, but I have no idea what it means. Okay. Can I get this one? Well, how about this one? I almost forgot. Before I go much further, I want to show you the trick with the original Super Mario Bros. Okay, see if I can remember how to do this properly. So you just kind of flip it upside down. Maybe it's the other way. Well, I guess that's one way to do it. So that's the pause button, so that's the run button then. How do I do the backwards run thing? Let's see. Maybe it's this way. I know I've been able to do it at one point. Maybe like this. Oh, it looked like it was... There we go. Well, I'm able to jump. Oh, I was kind of doing it there. If I can actually do this. I'm very out of practice. It's been a long time since I've last used the Power Glove in any capacity. Just kind of adjusted there. That's much more controllable. Oh man, okay. Let's try this. Hope it's not a little too close for comfort. It's just this is where the sensor is. Let's see. So this is the fire button. Jump. Thank goodness there's no timer. I was gonna say, that's a little too close to the edge for me. Well, if nothing else, I'd like to see anybody else do this good with the Power Glove. I do remember actually beating this one time with the Power Glove. Of course, this was many years ago. Okay. I like how the instruction manual says to go for Airman first, but I'm going for Bubble Man. Now. Nope. How about this one? There we go. Now this I can deal with. Okay, platforming challenge. Woo! I hope I'm getting this. Stay. Here we go. Move over. Good, I could use that. Move over. Go. No. Give me some health, please. Yes! More. Here we go. Here come the fish with the shrimp. I do not eat any shrimp on the barbie. Yes! This is why I went for easy difficulty. This is hard enough. Watch out for the Metroids. It's all just about getting that precision platforming just right. A little more. Oh, went too fast. Hope this is coming across alright. I gotta defeat... Oh, there is no fish. Thank goodness. There we go. Ah, somehow knew that was gonna happen. Who needs duck hunt when you got gumshoe? I got your daughter. Bring the 5 Black Panther diamonds to me within 24 hours or else. Come alone. P.S. Don't call me. I'll call you. King Don. To start, pull the trigger. This is going to be really hard to try to show off, isn't it? So that's how you get him Ooh. It's actually a little easier because I'm closer to the TV and whatnot. It's kind of a pity that we have yet to find a way to get this technology to work on a modern LCD TV. It only works on the CRTs. Got the getaway car. King Dom's not getting on me this time. I have no idea how marksmen are able to do it with both eyes open. Get the turkey. Yeah. I think I went the wrong way. You're not supposed to go into the desert like this. I think I might be looping the stage. I'm not getting the chicken. And I didn't get the potion either. Come back down. There we go. Danger. Oh! I don't remember there being falling rocks. Let's see, I got 1 life left. You can just kind of half press the trigger so you don't have to get that clicking noise. Didn't realize there was a hole there. Light gun. Probably one of the most famous, but one of the most sturdy. There we go. I think I got him in a good spot. Just gonna stay next to him just in case. There we go. Alright. Very good. Let's try this out. Here's my water bottle. Okay. Wrong button. All the way. There we go. Oh, I keep getting my buttons mixed up. Sorry about that. Okay. There we go. There we go. Yeah. Let's see, this way? Yep. I'm recording this, right? Yep. Just want to make sure with all the technical difficulties I've been having. Phase 2. Darn. I think I might have accidentally just offed myself here. Just hope this guy doesn't turn around. Guess it got stuck. Yeah. There we go. I think I'm just gonna have to start over. Yep. I see the blue one's a little sticky. Oh well. If nothing else. How many other people can actually get this? Actually have R.O.B? Yeah, let me just kind of stretch that out a little bit. There. Do it. So be careful with this one. Darn. Still sticking. Then again, I don't necessarily say this is the best setup either. I figure I'm gonna see what I could do with this next level and then I'll call it there. Oh, there we go. Already got jammed again. There we go. Alright, let's see if I can time this right. Yes! Thank you, Rob. Assist for the win. Alright. Here we go. Maybe one more. Ah, right. This is the one where you have to press both of them down at once. Unfortunately, the way I have this Rob set up, he's unable to do that. Or she. I don't know. What pronouns do you like going for, Rob? He, she, they, them. Gonna need persistent systems, it looks like. Right. Well, there we go for some interesting accessories that I have. Until next time, keep having fun. I think I'm going to play just a little bit more. I'm starting to really get into this.